Hi, so I hope you enjoyed that opening. The logo CBF is actually the new logo for my company. I altered it for this presentation, and I kind of did that for a reason. You'll note the colors are pink and purple. I actually don't like pink and purple coloring, and I don't care for the styling of it. So why did I go ahead and do that? Because my digital marketing person, yes, I now have a digital marketing person in addition to a sales and marketing person, told me that pink and purple are more accessible colors, that people will respond more to it. All right, we're launching a new product, an education product. I'll go with it. But I guess I'm a bit of a Luddite. I don't actually embrace new computer technology. In fact, the computer I'm recording this on is my first new computer in 20 years. Everything else I've used has been a hand-me-down. Why? I guess I'm a little afraid of it. I mean, I'm honestly still a hammer and nail guy. I build something, I go out to my shop and I fabricate it. Now I'm going and training to go to my desk, sit down, draw it on my computer, push the button, and the 3D printer makes it. I'm not very good at that yet. But, you know, I have to keep up. The state of Indiana is willing to provide me a training class for me and two other people. As a taxpayer, I'm appalled, but as a small business guy, I'm like, okay, cool, to learn how to do this. For the last 2 years now, I've had groups of students, college-age kids the same age as my nephew and even younger, who are much better on the computers. I draw the picture of the shape with my old drafting tools that are sitting really right over there. And then they go put it on the computer, and suddenly we go to lunch, we come back, maybe we go to a movie in between, and there's the device, all formed, just needs to be sanded and polished. It's a new world. It's a little scary because it's not the world I grew up in. But what do we do about that, right? Do we just run and hide and say we don't use it? Or are we going to put our nose to the grindstone and say, yep, this is the evolution. I got to stay with it or be left behind. Okay, so, the question we're asking is, what do I think about technology? Well, I think technology is the application of science to performing tasks, building devices, living life. I know it's kind of like a dictionary definition. I don't restrict it just to computers and technology. Now I'm doing it just to computers and electronics. You know, as all of you know, I'm working with water purification. Not a computer to be seen. It's all mechanical. I'm sure by the time it gets into production, there'll be some computerized components that make it work. But for now, it's a bunch of old men with drills and rivet guns. So, do I think this is a good thing that these progressions should move forward? Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. The example I'm going to show you is Crime by the Fives. It's the VR crime scene training tool I've told you guys about. I'm really very proud of it. And it may sound funny that a computer like me was an early adopter to VR training in forensic science. In fact, one of the first. I even lobbied the dean of my college to get money for students to work with Civis to actually do the initial programming for the prototype. He had no clue what we were even talking about at the time and, coughed up the money because I told him it was a good idea. All right, nice. When we displayed the technology you're about to see, I know I'm using the word technology again, the dean was on the floor, hands and knees, looking at footprints in the crime scene. He's my age, older guy, goes to stand up, goes to put his arm on the bed in the scenario to leverage himself. Of course, there's no bed really there. He's in the virtual world, just falls completely over on his side. Now, I'm not going to show you the video of that because, frankly, he promised to fire me if I ever did. And he's now the provost, so I'll push that envelope a little bit. But it was able to bring that realism to the computer scenario. We now have, for the first time, a nationally usable training device that can meet a central standard. Up until now, all crime scene training has been very haphazard. Everyone does it their own individual way. We take an empty room, we mock up a crime scene, we send people through it, we mark them off. Now we actually have the ability to still curate the crime scene we want, but have everyone go through the same one and electronically follow everything they've done. All their movements can be recorded. We can tell them when they've stepped in the wrong place, when they've touched something. And we design this with real physics. You accidentally bump into something and it goes bouncing away and contaminates your crime scene. In addition to all that, we're able to make the individual pieces of evidence respond the way they would in the real world. So what we can do now is take this virtual scene, have the students go through it or law enforcement go through it. And then if we want to do it for an academic class, we have a full semester's worth of laboratory work that will come from that evidence that they're processing. It becomes an entire criminalistics class starting with a real crime scene. So I'm going to say, why do we waste time with a virtual crime scene when, I'm just outside of Chicago. There's 2,000 crime scenes a year right there for us. Well, it's because we can't bring students to real crime scenes. They contaminate things. And let's face it, crime scenes happen in bad places, right? So we're not going to expose the students to danger. So this is just an evolution of the current paradigm of curating our crime scene, but in a way that can be nationally controlled. And we've already had conversations with the American Academy of Forensic Science and the Center of Forensic Excellence down at Florida International. Definite interest in this. It's made international press, cover of Evidence Technology magazine, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Because even though the new technology is scary, the whole industry knows that we need to embrace it. So sit back for a moment. I'm going to let you guys see from the first time view, that bird's eye view, what it looks like inside a VR crime scene.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I hope that showed you what I'm talking about. You move around, like I said, in real space. This is definitely an improvement over the current paradigm for teaching crime scene analysis. It integrates with a full suite of laboratory assignments for a full semester's work, and it's technology that's accessible by anyone. It can be used from at home through learning management systems, online, or through an actual hardware on the computer. All it takes is fairly cheap 3D visual gaming consoles. The technology is here. Whether or not it's the paradigm I grew up in, it's the one that we have to use to improve the overall science of teaching forensics. Thank you for your time, and it's been a wonderful semester. I hope you all had fun. Bye.